Then we had to go and raise the money to be able to start the company, to be able to build out the true requirements to do this electronically, as well as to fund the business. So Mr. Trotter had moved to be the head of technology consulting for EDS in Dallas. I asked him to see if he would give an introduction to EDS. They were very excited about it. They had just built the loan prospector for Freddie Mac, which is a automated underwriting system. It was the first in the mortgage industry. They were looking to expand their business. They understood what we were attempting to do, and they were willing to come on board to help us build out the requirements, as well as to build the technology. At that point, Doug met in Dallas a fellow named Gary Wood, and Gary Wood had been in financial services for a couple of decades at that point. He has a company called Concord Financial, which was primarily wealth management for very wealthy individuals in Texas, of which there are a significant number of them. He had also built a couple of companies, both in healthcare and in financial services. He sort of drank the Kool-Aid with Doug and I, and he said that he wanted to participate in the initial funding round. But at that point, we raised enough money to engage with EDS, to engage with all the various players that would be required to have an ecosystem to be able to do a fully electronic mortgage. So that included everyone from the realtors to the land records, notarization, funders, and Fannie Mae and Freddie. We actually originally worked with Freddie Mac as well. And so we were able to execute the first fully electronic mortgage in Broward County in Florida in the year 2000. So we had an initiative for the mortgage industry. We had an initiative for the leasing industry. We had infrastructures here for this, meaning we had a lead person running those businesses. We had people involved in marketing, the technology, the business requirements, the implementation, so forth. And then we had a third industry, it was international trade. There was a group that came to us out of Canada, from Winnipeg, that were the largest grain producers in the world. They had a problem in terms of moving grain around the world and having paper bills of lading. And so these paper bills of lading would sort of pile up when the ship gets to port, because the grains were commodities that were traded multiple times as they were traveling around the world in these ships. So we, with them, built was funded originally by the Star Group out of Winnipeg, the Kwok family out of Singapore. We had some of the major freight forwarders, Stolt-Nielsen and others, and brokers. We actually got, I think we were the first technology, which got the USDA stamp of approval for being able to do contracts electronically. And we began to build up that business as well. And at that point, everything to do with electronic commerce collapsed. There was no funding for it. There was no people who were scrambling, the businesses were scrambling to maintain the market that they had and the market share that they had. The technology dollars went for maintenance of existing technology, and certainly people were not looking for new technology, especially in financial services. Originally at that point, because we had a very strong investor base, at that point we had about somewhere between 125, 30 people, employees and consultants, and we had launched 3 different products in what was then called an ASP model, meaning a hosted model. A number of the banks that were working with us were concerned. Here we have a small company in Baltimore, and the tech bubble just burst, and what happens if they went away, and what would happen to our assets? So the request from them was they loved what we did, loved how we did it, loved the technology, but they wanted to take it and be able to run that technology themselves. We took that opportunity to get all the requirements. We took all the elements of our technology that we use for mortgage and for lease and for international trade, did gap analysis on the requirements in the code, and then completely rebuilt it from the ground up as enterprise software, Oracle-based, something that financial services would be using themselves for scale. And completed that in 2003 and 2004, right here in the warehouse.